thing I wanted to make sure that you talked about, because all that stuff you're talking about is great. It's great future stuff. It's stuff that's now and leads to a big, bright future. Talk a little bit about one of the other things that we think is a key differentiator that maybe people don't know about. Talk about Chainlink, our engagement with them, our interaction, and talk about the VRF and why that's important
The
here.
VR, yeah, okay. So the VRF functionality and our integration with Chainlink on our early integration is the first steps of the randomization of your reality, the randomize your basics. What we've begun to do is being able to integrate your Doges into a contract that engages in competing or racing for prize rewards that are from your contract, and that's provably fair on chain. Chainlink VRF stands for verifiable random functionality. For those who don't know what that means, it's kind of the separation between what random number generators for RNG are the basics of what most Ethereum-based contracts are kind of generated from as far as your NFTs go. Our Doges have been drawn randomly, guaranteed on chain through the VRF drawing to prove your color and your Doge's rarity, or your Doge's breed. Excuse me. And that kind of sets the tone for the entire ethos of the ethos is ethos, right? It's provably fair on chain. And there's no messing with it, no tampering. As anything we kind of build out, as the racing ensues, as the random functionality goes down to what they do with their weather base, and this is something that can be used to vary the weather patterns that are functioning on your planet or in your world or in a basis. So what we're building with the VR, the AR VR in the Unreal Engine, as these capabilities of this expand, with the ability of the VRF and randomizing the reality, and as the cutting edge of this technology gets, as the cream of the crop, as the cream rises to the top, we'll be able to basically blur the line of what reality is with this metaverse and conceptualize reality almost more randomly than what's around you in your room on a daily basis. I can almost guarantee.
Awesome. So couple of the key takeaways are Unreal Engine, which we're unique or pretty much unique in doing that, and the Chainlink VRF, verifiable randomness function, which is something that's important for folks when they're competing and how they get their NFTs. Everything is verifiably random, so that's a strength that you don't get in other projects. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Cody, I know you want to start doing some screen sharing, so I'll hold off on a couple of my questions while you start that. Why don't you get that going? And in the meantime, we'll welcome Mike and Jamie again now that they're all connected. Mike and Jamie from Disc, welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us, everybody.
Yes, thanks for having
Finamont
us.
team, we're very excited. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So Cody, go share away, man. Show
Yeah,
everybody what we're talking
sure you
about.
want to jump right at it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
Okay, I didn't know if Brian had a monologue or anybody else wanted to get in here. We can
Well,
go ahead and start sharing.
let's do that, and we'll keep the questions flowing throughout, but I know people are here to see it. So let's get them started. Let's not make them wait any longer.
Okay, sounds good.
And if they want to get in, they can, right? While we're doing this, I know you're going to talk about that.
Yeah, if we want Ty, if you want Ty to feed the link out to the crowd, and then we can encourage people to download it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Yeah,
do
give me
that.
1 second. I'll get the link out to everybody.
Yeah, and also we're getting a couple posts from the Disc community are asking for a little help to get in. So if anybody can just drop something for them in there, that'd be great.
Sure. Oh,
Can you see my screen?
yeah, you can see it.
I'm not seeing it, Cody. Where do I look? Sorry, I got to click on something here.
So if you click on the AMA channel, it'll show everybody's little icon, and then
Yeah.
it'll show a couple screen shares at the top between.
Okay.
So that is the in the chat. Do you see that, Mike?
Yeah, you're talking about the watch stream on for both of you.
Yeah, you can just copy that link into the Disc community, and then it'll give them a direct.
Okay. Let's see.
you are looking to download the Ethos, download it right.
By the way, for those who are downloading this, I did get a message on my Windows laptop. I have a current version of Windows that said that it was protecting my machine, and you have to click more info and run anyways. Otherwise, it'll just assume you're going to cancel out.
Yeah, you may have to hit more, which is a good warning
So
for your
it's the
computer to
more
give you.
info button, more info, and then run anyways to load it.
Our developer running by.
He's sitting by. He's like, is
Yeah,
he sitting on your screen?
Yeah, he's sitting sliding.
David, how did you do that?
Why don't you take people through a little bit, or Tyler, let people see what they can
Tyler,
do,
let's get a
what's
tour
in
on
there
there.
today.
So I am the little green corgi on the two out of the two screens, and basically this is Titans. This is one of Saturn's moon. Saturn. Now we'll start off over here with like the base area. This is where your ship's gonna be. So you'll have a little, let's say a big land port, where your ship will just be floating up and down. You'll be able to walk up to it. It'll say press B to board ship. You board the ship, and then you can take off flying. That'll be how you travel from planet to planet. Now, if we move a little bit over here, go into the base. Now, the base is going to be each individual will have one. They'll be customizable. So you'll be able to create in-game items that you'll be able to build and almost furnish your base. You'll be able to hang up other NFTs as like an art display. Beds, furniture. We'll be able to bring in talked about pool games. So, you can play pool with your friends. You can play arcade games and stuff like that. Little mini games inside it to kind of make it feel like you're home. You'll be able to invite people to the planet, so they'll be able to fly directly to you or teleport to you. There's also a teleporter that we have in the game that David has showcased a couple of times, where you walk into like this phone booth looking thing, kind of like this one right here, and it'll just teleport you somewhere else. Be able to teleport from planet to planet, fly from planet to planet, and be able to go visit different areas. We'll have a realistic galaxy, so it'll have Pluto, Mars, Earth, stuff like that. Then we'll have another layer on top of it, custom. So we'll create like a hub planet that has a bunch of different things as far as like comes. We can even do gas stations from place to place to help fuel your ship up. There'll be a lot of different layers to like the reality of kind of blurring reality here. Like I said, this is a huge area, so you're definitely going to want to have a ship. We are on a floating rock in the center of it. I don't know if you can see it from over here, but there's a big methane lake. In reality, Titan has pools of methane on it. Everything's as realistic as possible. The sound you hear when you're running around on this planet is the same sound that NASA heard.
Can the audience hear the sound in the screen share?
It's probably soft, but if you were to get in here and play around a little bit,
I can hear the waves.
Yeah, that little background noise. That's the same noise that NASA heard when they did their first excursion.
The genuine sounds from NASA, David. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's credit to David. We didn't even tell him to do that. He just did that on his own. And then we got down here, we have the hatchery. So the hatchery is just, these are all the mystery eggs, the origin eggs that you get for origin dogs. And then what we want to do long term is create an interactive process in here where you walk up and you can hatch your egg, see it hatch in real time. We want to try to bring in as much real time interactive play as possible, interacting with stuff outside the game, bringing it in, basically creating a game that you don't need to log out of, do anything you want.
That's great stuff, guys. It looks awesome. Now, and of course I've seen it, but I love it. I'm out there too. I can't walk and talk. I can't make my dog walk while I talk, so I'll keep asking the questions. I can't do both at the same time. So, but it's not.
Yeah.
I want to go to Mike and Jamie for a second. from as discs, as the leaders of drone industry systems, what is your thinking about the metaverse? How do you think drones can play in this space? What's the role, and how do you guys think you want to leverage the metaverse for disc?
Sure. For one, it's a tool to us. We look at the metaverse not just as a real great interaction and a tool for gaming and having it for everything from a gambling opportunity, somewhat of it, if once it becomes legal in the US, let's just say. But also, so there's so many different like fun gaming opportunities, but it's also an incredible tool for when we start to bring in training, whether it's going to be for a drone, to fly a drone, to be able to take testing, to become a drone pilot, to simulate, and also to use it for what we're ideally building, because we're an autonomous infrastructure IP solution company. So our goal is to take the smart rooftop and ground drone airports and be able to build it in the metaverse and work with Finovon on that. And this is what the beauty of this relationship is, because you guys are cutting edge. I mean, you really, I mean, the VRF with Chainlink is just a phenomenal step up. It's raised the bar, and we'll be able to do a lot of things, not just with drones, because drones to us is, if you look back as the first drone, it was actually Tesla who made the first drone, and he made a drone because it's autonomous, and it was a missile. So everything that's autonomous is really a drone to us, and that's why we're Drone Industry Systems, because we want our mobile app to be a full stack mobile app for the front end and back end, where you can actually hail the first ever multimodal hailing of for people and cargo. And by doing that, we're going to have three different types of environments. You got the customer, the vendor, and the operator. So by bringing in this metaverse, what we're able to do is we can actually start bifurcating solutions for each of these different market segmentations that create that solution for the actual what we call the smart delivery drone app. And again, that drone, what is it to us? The word drone to us means autonomous cars, autonomous drones, autonomous VTOLs. VTOLs are vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. So the electronic vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. And then how we integrate that into our smart rooftop. So when we take that, we combine it, we think that we can bring in the digital twin. And with digital twin technology, it's just another layer into the metaverse. And so we see all these solutions becoming a nexus between the physical and the digital.
Awesome. So there's one of the things that's come up in our conversations before is the training capabilities here, and that's something that we're looking at very closely from an educational perspective. We know that DeFi is not a familiar space to a lot of people. The folks who are on with us here today, I would bet are very savvy, but there's a lot of people who aren't and are afraid to get in. So we from the Finovon/BioFi perspective are looking at the metaverse as not just a place for games and racing and having a little fun, but also as the educational space where people can come in, they can learn what is a token, what's the difference between a security and utility token, how do you use a swap function, all of those things that people probably on the line now take for granted that they understand. People who've never been in the space don't understand that. So that's what we see from an educational perspective as a starting point. I know, Mike and Jamie, the conversation has come up in our last AMA that people said, what about training people? What about training drones? Maybe getting licensing? That I think is a great opportunity as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Jamie, if you'd like to go ahead and answer on that one.
Okay. So that speaks to the years of educational technology training I've had. So that's definitely my forte. I think that this environment is as close as you're going to get to being in person to educate, to train, whether it's training on technical skill sets or just how to navigate new environments. So whether it's like you said, Chris, teaching someone how to navigate our planet or any other planet in the metaverse or in Ethos Metaverse, or how to drive your ships that you'll have there, or navigate your dog, or to drive a drone. So I think that that's one of the key areas that we should definitely focus on, because without that educational foundation and structure, it's easy to get lost on the internet, so nonetheless get lost in the metaverse.
100%.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I can see that this could be a place to come to you talk about delivery, all kinds of delivery options, whether it's, autonomous vehicles or, food, whatever the case may be. I could see this being a portal to access anything, go to the drone planet and not only learn how to do something, learn how to fly a drone, learn what a drone's capabilities are, but, race a drone, buy one, race one in the metaverse.
Order your stuff from the drones,
Or
get it delivered to
order
you.
your stuff. Exactly. So
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
find-
Those are exciting things. Everything you're saying.
Yeah, we're trying to create when providers come in like DISC, they will have their own planet, their own space for people to come to, and we'll be able to guide them from the hub world, if you will. That we'll be able to guide visitors to that, and direct them over to DISC and whoever the other providers may be that do different things. So it's a great place to come. We envision it as a great place to come to not only learn, but to get access to some of the services that you like. So
Yeah, and one of the things that we see also is like one of the things you guys just brought up is the delivery where we can actually order within the metaverse. And also as an operator, like for instance, say that operator wants to access how do I do a smart delivery doorbell miner or a smart landing pad miner? Maybe that data over there will tell me how the weather is. And oh, there's a charging station for the drone. How do I
The
train to
drone
charge my
driver,
drone?
it could be in the metaverse. The drone ordering could be in the metaverse. The whole operation.
Yep, and exactly, and so we like to
Besides
want
you
to
eating your
build on.
donut.
Yeah, we would love to see how we can create the strip malls that have the rooftops that have been repurposed, and then have all the ordering set up, and and again between customer, vendor, and operator, special training, and as well as the datapreneur who might have the smart delivery doorbell or the smart landing pad miner, and where they can sit there and get trained on how to use that metadata and maybe as a solution within the metaverse, see how it all connects. Maybe they're seeing the weather is a need in a certain geolocation that so there's so much we can do with this.
agreed. Now,
Well, what?
go ahead,
Oh,
Brian.
sorry, Chris. What's amazing, guys, is that especially working with you, Mike and Jamie, looking at the future and how much you guys are focused in on innovation. Every time we bring up the word drone in conversation, it's just like the word metaverse. People suddenly come up with just dozens of use cases. It's quite an amazing thing. Both of those areas are just ripe with fruit to be picked. Low hanging fruit for great ideas, great innovations, and you guys are doing a fantastic job generating buzz and getting people interested in DISC and in the future of drone technology and IoT technology and security in and around that whole space to secure the data and the operators of the IoT equipment. and then finding ways to integrate it cross-platform. This reminds us of Constellation Network being able to push through tons of data at a very low cost. And we really like that. We appreciate that. And where you guys are headed inspires a lot of people in the drone technology and, of course, in the metaverse. What a great combination of different innovations that will really help people's lives. And that really is the focus of the ecosystem, touching every person in each country and territory around the world. And you guys are doing a great job with that. So we really appreciate that.
Brian, thank you very much for that. And we feel the same way. You know, from the start, you know, Jamie, you can say how you feel, but I know it's the same. You guys have been very supportive to a degree that, you know, it's not just words. When we say we're partnering up, we're working together, we really are, you know, and we are trying to change the world to be a better place as best we can in our participation with the solutions that we're collectively providing between our companies. And the way we look at this is, you know, safety, security, and sustainability is our model, and the repurposing of specialized infrastructure. So, and then creating that nexus. And you guys are an ideal partner, and so is Constellation. Constellation Network allows us to, you know, to prepare for the Web3 HTTP, and you know, we have that great combination that you touched base on, which is the cybersecurity side. We have blockchain side that we're all developing over on top of, and we're really truly taking solutions and making it an environment that is not just one particular vertical, but it can be bifurcated into multiple verticals of opportunity and sustainability.
Yes, I agree. That's totally fantastic. And one thing we're really excited about, we're looking forward to, is as this competition, this gaming competition starts up where the dogs are running around and competing against each other. It's going to be incredible to see the drones do that. We're really looking forward to that. I think people will find that quite fun and enjoyable. In addition to all the other activities that will be built up and added into the metaverse over time. So we're very excited about that. And just a question, thinking about where you guys are headed, what would you like your world to look like? What would you like in your world?
Well, I mean, for us, we'd love to rebuild
Would
a,
you
you know,
build
and
the
Jamie, you
world?
can give your feedback as well on this one. But for us, I think what's important to us is making it really interactive and making it have value, you know, just both on a fun level and on a public and private level. You know, scavenger hunts, gaming, informational tools, you know, racing tools, being able to connect NFTs to everything, but making an environment where you can actually walk in with a VR or something and you can actually order what you're looking for, be able to see the actual retailer or the fast food chain,
You could do the
pick your
world.
restaurant food, and be able to maybe go shopping for your food, and you know, all these different ways of really just maximizing this world and bouncing between worlds and building and choosing your own drones. It's just an exciting time for us.
That's great.
I
What
agree.
about community building? I think community building is a huge opportunity both within each planet for each provider, but I think, you know, in a centralized location, to me it's great to think people can come into the metaverse with a bunch of different objectives and perhaps to see, you know, a particular provider, but then come into the hub world or come into the hub space and see everything that's there and perhaps engage with people that have nothing to do with their existing community, but you know, are part of the broader BioFi or, you know, Ethos Metaverse community. So I think there's a real opportunity there. And how do you guys envision that we could support that building of community in the ethos?
Jamie, can you talk about to answer, can you expand on our crypto rewards and on how we can expand with community? think you're on mute.
Yeah, I know. I had two screens going. I couldn't find my mouse. So I mean, if we go expand on the whole digital twin, and let's say we create our digital twin of a strip mall with you know vertiports in a box and our drone landing pads and you know people who join us can be living in the houses that we've already got pre-built, some of them with built-in like I said, smart delivery doorbell miners, so they could start earning rewards within the metaverse, within our planet, and let's say they're part of our ecosystem and or our planet, and they're also part of BioFi's and several other providers that belong to this amazing ecosystem. We could be sharing those tokens. They could be earning BioFi tokens as well as earning a DISC token for participating in. It could just be the beta version of data collection within the Ethos Metaverse. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I really like that idea. If I could just jump in there for a second about what we were talking about the digital twin and being able to build the disk world. So we could go in and we could make a replica world. We've discussed this with David. Having a realistic galaxy like our own, and having a realistic Earth, and having the disk and having Earth itself, and then having disk basically a digital twin of a disk world where you're actually being able to track the drones in travel, basically like an Apple Maps or etc. But for your drone, and you might be able to engage in that. You could engage the subculture of the gig economy, and having tasks or objectives, or like you're saying, scavenger hunts in mining points and things for your drone to go do, or places where the drone might need to be, or places that need to be observed, or tracking carbon emissions, or all those things in a digital Earth, but you could actually subcontract it out to your metaverse digital twin gig economy of drones.
Absolutely.
And that's crazy. That's next world.
No,
Thanks, Cody.
that's absolutely, you're right on track there, Cody. I think
One other
what
thing I
what
wanted
would
to
be
add to that, Mike, is
sure, yeah, go ahead.
we're in our first round of NFTs and to swap for the smart delivery doorbell. I mean, I know this is kind of on the fly, but those people that purchase those NFTs and can actually have a digital version of their smart delivery doorbell in our metaverse, and they could start utilizing the digital twin of hardware that they're waiting to be produced. So
Yeah, and they're going to be earning crypto rewards on that as well, which we will
right.
be, providing that information later. But what is really amazing that I wanted to touch base on and expand on between what was just said in the last 10 minutes is one is cross-pollination between communities, really being able to expand on just one community and show the value add of multiple communities working together. I think that it is a fruitful way to really escalate and the actual progress of opportunity and technology when communities can get together. You know, it's so critical that we cross pollinate because we can actually take these value adds, technologies, talents, and work on them together. And so community goes far beyond you know the name itself. It's everybody pulling together to make something a better place, a better environment, a better solution. And that's what's another part about this that is really something I'm very intrigued about.
I'm glad you talked about that, Mike. That's why I brought it up. I think the community aspect is going to be far beyond what we think it is. I think the impacts can be big, and it will be global. It can be worldwide. people can participate in here and learn from others, and just help the ecosystem itself outreach to those who may need it. So I think the opportunities are tremendous here.
No, absolutely, Chris. And then the other part about that is when we talk about cross pollination in terms of community, and what Jamie said as well is the same applies to crypto. And we would like to see these crypto rewards with BioFi, and the the Finavant communities that join, that are like, for instance, Pedal is one of your partners, and one of the things that you guys were just bringing up was how we can apply, what is the environment. There's certain, I'm going to give some alpha right now, but there's certain things that the smart delivery doorbell has so many different models that we have created that we will introduce in different types of sensors that will be able to be available on it as we develop the actual hardware. And why I'm saying this is, one of the things we brought up that I think Brian said it, is we want to make the world a better place. And we believe that the smart delivery doorbell will really be so many different features. Like, for instance, if there's a home invasion or there's something of a nefarious act, like a robbery in the house, or somebody's being held hostage, or somebody is being injured, it wouldn't be difficult to have your phone activate a little button that would actually, on the outside doorbell, be like a strobe light where the public can see that the house is in distress. Or if you are having a sensor choice where you wanted to actually know if the ambient air was conducive for somebody that was asthmatic, or somebody that has pollen issues for pollen, so now all of a sudden we can understand environment and give somebody a heads up. And then the fact that, like, some of the doorbells will be able to have the cameras on the left, right, and front having a 180-degree security viewpoint. So connecting to a dispatch for emergency. All of these features, even connecting to all the shipping participating carriers with blockchain, can all be placed in the metaverse. And there's so many different verticals, and that's why we wanted to bring that up real quick, because Finavant is the perfect partner. Constellation, the perfect partner. We're looking at all the verticals that really help generate a solution for the public. And I just wanted to put that in.
Yeah, I think you're calling out some great things. The Constellation's ability to handle massive amounts of data, our ability to secure it with biometrics, and DISC offering just these tremendously unique services and rewards. I think it's a great fit all around.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is flying along here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take a second and see if folks in the community have questions. Typically, something like this, we're revealing such new stuff here that people have a lot of questions. I think the best thing to do is to see if people can put their questions in the chat, and we'll take them from there. So if you guys have a question, just drop it in the chat box.
General chat.
And we'll get to it right away.
The friends. Any question? Extra points if you ask on the metaverse.
While we're waiting for the questions, so Mike and Jamie, one thing that we are looking forward to is working with you guys on coming up with those elements for the world itself. And what's really exciting is that we can transform concepts, ideas. You talked about earlier the type of experiences that you would like to have in the drone world. And then the kind of the next level from that is, well, what does that look like at the at the user level. You know, do they go into a bar? Do they go to a stadium? Do they have a, you know, family get together in a park? Do they fish in a lake? You know, these kinds of things that will make the experience noteworthy and worthwhile to each person. Um, those experiences which provide, you know, the unique flavor of the drone world. It's going to be so fun to sit down and ideate over what those elements look like and what you guys want to put in the world. That's going to be very exciting.
Oh yeah. You know, even when you pair, like it's exciting to see, like what you guys have done is amazing here. You know, like what I'm looking at, I'm just so impressed with what you guys do. And I'll tell you, you know, like even pairing a drone with a any kind of character that you choose from your doji. So, you know, you
They're
can actually,
companions. They're like the
yeah,
perfect companions. We're like
yeah,
making the
absolutely.
metaverse
You can you
companions.
I agree. I agree. You can even do gaming, you know, it's so endless of, you know, I agree with you, you know, Brian, in terms of like all the different possibilities. But when you pair, like you were saying, uh, I believe, Cody, what we're looking at is um, opportunities where you can actually, one relies on the other. And when you add that in with VRF, you know, one of the things I really enjoy about hearing about VRF and how you guys took this to a new level is the fact that you don't have to feel like the game is rigged. And so, like, if you did a pairing with a drone and a doji, and you know, we had a new game or a new competition, and there's different talents and capabilities, that VRF is going to level the playing field for a full blockchain disclosure, transparency, and allow for people to be able to say, this wasn't, you know, something that was rigged. I won or I didn't win. Bottom line.
Yes, that's exactly right. Um, from a perspective of going through that whole process and working together on this is just going to be fantastic. You guys are at the bleeding edge of this whole thing, both in the drone technology and in the metaverse and with your NFTs. We're so happy you guys got the NFTs launched, and it's just going to be amazing as we proceed forward into this area. Um, did we get
And you
questions,
guys, you
guys?
guys helped on that a lot, by the way. That we greatly appreciate that.
Okay.
We got
I
we got one question from Martin. He asked,
Right.
"Is this up and running now? If not, when will it be? How many drones will? How many?" You know, the metaverse we're playing in right now is up and running. It's in a beta version. I sent the download link, the voice chat text channel, but I can also post it in the general channel as well. Hop in there. But there is 7,777 images. There is 1,111 Origin, and the rest are classic. Now, Origin Doges come from an egg. You get an egg, hatch that egg, and they'll come with a bunch of in-game benefits as far as, you know, breeding reward, extra a future whitelist. They'll get free ships. Just gonna keep coming with in-game perks. The classic Doges will have less perks, but they'll whitelisted ships, so you're guaranteed to get a ship if you have a classic Doge, and then they'll be able to compete well as your avatar or your side the meta. Now, if you guys want to touch on the drone stuff a little bit, or how many drones
Can you
there
hear me?
be? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. That's a good question. The way we look at it is there's going to be three types that we would like to focus on. We have the personal enjoyment use. We have the deployment that might be related to gaming, and then we have the actual operational use. How we can actually integrate that. And when we talk about operational use, we have to look at it in the future as drones in terms of fleet, in terms of geolocation, in terms of thinking of it like just like an airport, right? You have the drone port, which we call a drone hangar, that will be on standby. you know, we will have fleets of drones for ISR for, you know, like if there's any kind of requirements for first responders, or if there's, you know, a defibrillator drone, a first responder drone that I was just saying, you know, so we get to bifurcate that and bring the public with the private side. And so when we go to break this down, we got to look at it that way. We got to look at it saying, look, how many ways can we actually break this rooftop and repurpose it on a worthless roof that's on a strip mall? How do we turn this into a metaverse opportunity to have all the buy-ins from the communities, both in the private sector and the public sector? Because on the public sector, we can actually provide crypto rewards. If you're a datapreneur, you can, you know, somebody might say, hey, you know, we want that defibrillator drone information, or they might say, you know, let's have a first responder drone. There might be an Amber Alert drone. You might have the local news having their own drone hangars on standby, and then you still have the delivery drones. You know, so these are different payloads that you put on these drones for its specific use case on what it is that you're going to use the drone for. And so this is where that dynamic training, you know, Jamie's been in the educational field for a long time. This is where we can take that and we can integrate that and use Finavant's background and experience and my drone experience, you know, and we can go through a way to make this beneficial on the private and public sector. So that's a real loaded and very good question, because we have to look at all those variables, and hopefully that answered it.
Yeah, that's one follow up on that, Mike. That was a fantastic answer. When we think about the metaverse, we think about drone technology, and we think about biometrics and racing and all these kind of interesting things that go on. You know, a couple of themes come to mind, and part of the process of going through this, of course, is collecting feedback from the community, the BioFi community, the DISC community, Constellation. We have several people out in the world that are quite influential. James Pelton, Robert Doyle, the Staked Queen, people that we talk to quite frequently because they love what's happening in the ecosystem, and we are just so enamored with their following, their community, their ability to amplify the message, and it's quite amazing. So as we go through this process and we continue the conversation, we look forward to feedback from the community. One of our guys, Dagonaut, came up with a fantastic idea to provide like the drone simulation or training in the metaverse. One of the things that we would like to put in there is kind of like a training area in general, where you can come in and watch a video or read a white paper, maybe a one-pager, maybe some context around one of the providers. DISC could have a whole area in there with things that you want to, messaging that you want to feed out to the community as they fly through and end up in the world of choice and start bopping around. It's just a great avenue to interface and interact with everybody around the world, no matter which country or territory you're from. Providing a good context, multilingual, easy navigation. So it's going to be great to work with you guys. And on that idea, from a community perspective, please send in your thoughts. Please share them with us. We love interacting with the communities and receiving that feedback and responding to the community. We love doing that. And in sessions like this, getting the questions, it's very important for us to hear that.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that, especially the outreach to the community for feedback. So we are coming up on the top of the hour here. I'm going to encourage our audience to jump in if you have another question. And while they're thinking about what their questions are, I'll ask the team. I'll start with the DISC team. Jamie, Mike, any other final comments you'd like to make today?
Amy?
I just wanted to add, we were talking before about, just the initial training time and for people to get comfortable in there. And then Cody and Mike were talking about, that the doggy and the drone make a great, companions. And maybe we can think about, having a dedicated dog and drone to, welcome everybody. And then also just be there as a support person in each other's planets, so to speak. Maybe we can digital twin them, and we have a set in yours and ours, and then as new providers and new planets get added, it can be something that we can just launch right away as a support for their community as well as the providers as well.
Thanks, Jamie.
And Chris, just for my final notes on this, it would be that digital twin is not just a word, and what we've learned today, in my opinion, is metaverse is not just a word. It's not just this great phraseology. This is like cutting edge solutions that are going to be the future, and in my personal opinion, at least, and I look at that also in the sense of digital twin, because digital twin will allow us to say, hey, there's a landing pad over there, there's a charging station over here, would you like to buy a charging station? This is the disk planet in terms of the drone planet, and on that planet, where are the charging stations? Just like a gas station, can I buy one of those? Can I actually rent it out? Can somebody charge on my landing pad? Can somebody see where all the landing pads are and the charging stations are, both public and private? Can we utilize that to where collectively as cross-platform communities we can integrate that? And then just the drones being able to jump from planet to planet, or the vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, which most know as air taxis. Can we deploy more than one passenger and bring them on board, a Doge passenger, and so there's just a lot of good solutions. But digital twin also does predictive analytics because of that. So you can actually look at predictive analytics of life cycles of sensors. One of the things that we came up with is creating a concept of a governor within a sensor, and where those thresholds of failure have been monitored or already placed in these sensors, whether it's a weather sensor or a telemetry sensor. What we're looking to do is be able to say, well, where's our failure rates? Where do we want to be able to say this threshold's it? After that, take that data and let's transfer it to a spare sensor. So now we have a self-healing node-centric mesh network where one sensor that's failing hits its threshold, and now it goes and throws that information over to another sensor. So situational awareness for aviation becomes uninterrupted, and so it becomes self-healing in nature. And so now you can actually use digital twin to do predictive analytics of that life cycle and be able to say, hey, how's the energy on this? How's the actual functionality of it? Is it at its full capacity, or is it functioning at its best, opportunity, or whatever it may be? That's what digital twin can expand to. So hopefully that helped.
Great, Mike. Thanks. Sounds like an opportunity for a real-time dashboard in the metaverse to monitor your operations and your devices.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point.
Awesome. So I see we have no more questions. Cody, Tyler, Brian, any final comments? And then we'll wrap.
Yeah, if I could just shill the Gleam campaign here.
Please.
Or also the Dog Mints Live, the classic Doges are 1 AVAX, and then the Origin Doges are 10 AVAX. The Origin Doges get the ships and all the other cool stuff later. And then there's a giveaway going right now. to win some classic Doges and an Origin Doge in a Gleam giveaway, to learn about it, share information about the metaverse, and learn about our project, and then definitely encourage people to get a Doge. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Excited.
so just to touch on that Gleam campaign, a lot of people who essentially all it is you go to this website and they have a list of tasks. Very simple tasks. A lot of them are follow, reach, kind of just to share information, have an event. But very simple to do, and each task is a raffle. And at the end of it, we pick from the raffle and pick from dogs. The grand prize is an Origin dog, too. Throw that out.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, everyone who joined us today, thank you so much. Special thanks to the DISC team, to Mike and Jamie for joining us. Love having you guys. You're certainly among our favorite guests. So thanks for doing this. I'm sure we'll do many of these as we go forward, as the metaverse expands and we get new functionality in there. We'll have plenty of announcements. So thanks to the Finovant team as well. So again, community, thank you very much. Always reach out to us if you have questions. Let us know if you need to know anything about us, the project, about the metaverse, and we're happy to engage. We spend a lot of time in the Telegram channels and certainly on Twitter. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll chat again soon.
Take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.